Good morning, happy Saturday, and welcome to my channel. Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. Really do appreciate it because I hope you get something actually helpful from this video that we're going to put out. And I know that you'll get something helpful because we're going to give you those updated weekly expected moves. We're going to give you those updated daily expected moves for Tuesday. I think the futures will be open overall for Monday, but we won't see that in the regular trading hours. So we have a little day off there. We have Tuesday coming in for this price action. We got some critical levels to give you, and we're going to do our homework down in this area, just like we were talking about last week, just like we were talking about with volatility suggesting this drop would come down to that 680 point. I'm sorry about my tweet. I might have caused the market to absolutely vomit. That's how it works. But I really want to do our homework in here. I really want to get into those 2-hour charts, those 30-minute charts. But first thing, just before we do start that, is I did see a couple comments, people saying, hey, this is starting to go negative. And yes, you are correct to believe that this going negative on the daily scale is a bad thing, but notice that we can carve that out. As long as we can make reversal signals by that center line, it can be a good thing. But this is why we are very critical of the 2-hour chart crossing down in this area, especially when it came to the Qs. So we're going to tackle the SPY, we're going to tackle the Qs, and we're going to get into some volatility, and then we'll see what happens after that. And the reason I said see what happens after that is because, well, my wife happened to not get, I'm going to start off with a story because a lot of people in the comments sometimes say that once I get analyzing, I sound like some kind of robot or something like that.
I'm making meats now. Smoking these meats here. Our little meat smoking. It's smoking. So I'm the meat chef.
I just wanted to make sure to come at you at a human level and say, my wife got 0 sleep last night. Last night, I went to bed at like 9. I was so tired, and I woke up at 5 a.m. And I was like, dang, the baby girl is sleeping so good tonight. Mama's sleeping so good tonight. I didn't roll over and look. Turns out they were not in the room, and they had been up all night downstairs. So I feel very bad for her. So I got to help her out. So most likely we will just be getting into the SPY, the Qs, and volatility. But just bring that down to perspective for you. I'm not some kind of robot, I promise you. Okay. 2-hour chart, guys, right? What were we suggesting? Well, volatility was kind of saying that something like this would happen. If we want to go over that just for a brief moment here, volatility with these reversal signals blatantly there. When you see this, when I see this, even when it's forming and stuff like that, I'm very, very cautious with those plays, especially when the 30-minute was confirming in here, making a new high, made a higher low. We'll go over that in a bit, but it just shows you being very risk averse, taking your risk into consideration, considering we've been in this range and we have not broken for a long time. You don't know if you're building liquidity for a big drop or if you're building liquidity for a big pop to the upside. So we don't know that information. That's why we trade like water on this channel. And anyone who pretends to know that information, I would highly suggest seeing if they delete a lot of X posts. That's what I would say there. But the 2-hour chart, as far as the MACD goes, it is in negative territory. This is not bullish as we look at it right now. What we're looking for in this area is, can we carve out that higher low? Can we possibly make a divergence for the SPY? I don't necessarily want to see a divergence for the SPY. We'll talk about that with the Qs. So let's get you some critical levels and talk about these moves. 696.10 to the upside for your weekly expected move, 667.40 to the downside. If you are new here, I haven't talked about this a lot, so we're going to do just a brief little, this is a 68% zone that I calculate using the options data. I will take a second look at this on Monday just to see if anything drastic does change or anything like that. But I don't like changing them very often. I like to do my calculation for the weekly expected move on Saturday mornings, and then I leave it because that's what the options market was expecting at the Friday close. Okay, so I let that data do the work for me. These are going to be some of the best support and resistances that you will ever see in trading. I have plenty of experience with them at this point. I have years and years and years now using these weekly expected moves, and it is a 68% zone, not a 100% zone, but we have been landing inside them very, very well. But as we do this, it's important to note with the weekly expected move, as we coil up and we keep seeing this range keep going back and forth, eventually we will see a break and a surprise will happen, and that surprise can take you outside of the weekly expected move, and we can close outside of those weekly expected moves. 32% of the time we will see that. So I wanted to point that out. Your daily expected moves, same percentages, same exact thing I just said, just on a daily basis, 686.52 to the upside. We have 676.98 to the downside. Implied volatility has increased a little bit here. I think on the daily perspective, it's very, very similar to Friday at this point. So the 2-hour chart, if this crossed up, is that so far away from the center line that we would expect another roll? No. So the bullish thing here would be, can we cross up? And if that crosses up, is it able to go positive? Are we able to take back that 5-day? Are we able to see some good things and see the bulls step in? Because right now, sorry, that thing's expired forever. But right now, we do have the sellers very, very strong in that area. So most likely, we're going to need to build some stuff down here to say, hey, we need to push through those buyers. And we do have something coming. Why did we expect this kind of move going into next Wednesday? Vixpiration. You guys heard me start to talk about Vixpiration on Tuesday, Wednesday of last week, and said look for that volatility push before Vixpiration this time, because we did have reversal signals for it, and we'll go over that. So if the 2-hour chart's able to cross up, it overall would be kind of like, oh, I want to be cautious initially, like right away, but it would be a little bit risky. But in this area, I do like, if I see reversal signals from the 30-minute chart to give me some hints, then that'll really tell you this can be a higher low. And so I don't want to, if the 2 hours crossing up, I don't want it to be doubling down on bearish bets at that point. I would need to see this rotate down and unconfirm, fail the move to say that it is going in the downward direction. All right. The 30-minute chart is what we use for hints. Now, what did I suggest watching for in this area? Right, we suggested watching for any kind of higher low or divergence from the 30-minute chart. That will be your hint that the 2-hour chart can go to the upside, if you're following me. This means that we will need to see some kind of a higher low. We will need to see, most likely you would like to see these sellers tested and make a higher low. So I would like to see those sellers tested and get the higher low up in these areas. And then the other thing that we could do in this area is just fall to the downside, go down to that daily expected move of 676. You'll notice that'll take you directly into Vixpiration. Around Vixpiration to Thursday, I would look for that divergence play to be there. So these are the two scenarios, the two trade setups that I'm really looking for here are a defined, I would have to say a definite higher low from the 30-minute chart up in these areas, or a 30-minute divergence. The 30-minute divergence plays can be riskier. You want to have a plan for if it is going wrong, for sure, if you're playing a divergence play. But if a divergence shapes up here, then a lot of people can get bearish. We can get the crash callers who have called a crash. They called crash here. We did not. They called crash here. We did not. They called crash here. We did not. They called crash here. We said it was possible, but if you get the higher low, so we did not. They called crash here. We said not, right? So we're just doing our homework once again. This isn't to say like everyone's wrong and we're always right. Eventually we will see some major disturbance in the market, and that can be right now as that daily goes negative. But if we carve out those reversal signals, you have to pay attention to bullish things. Why? And someone asked this in the live stream we did last week. Why do we overall pay attention to bullish things? People saying, you never short. I like to take volatility calls as a short if I'm going to do it. I didn't choose to do it this time because that's not my thesis right now. But I don't short the market very often because the market overall goes up. You notice that most of the time we're always talking about new all-time highs, not new all-time lows. So that means most of the time bullish trades will be easier to execute, and bullish trades will be more than bearish trades. So paying attention to a higher low in this area, paying attention to a divergence in this area will be very good. And I will be updating you again on Tuesday night. And if I see something on Tuesday towards the end of the day, during market hours, I will be posting that to Patreon. We can do this a little bit backwards. We have to be open to that monthly move getting tagged. So the volatility doesn't have to stop. We don't just have to make a divergence here and be done, right? We don't just have to see something like this and be done. We can, but if we want that volatility to remain for a bit of time, we could remake those signals later down in these areas and drag this out all the way into Friday, the options expiration, if we want. Now, if expiration, we see reversal signals, then we do our homework, we do our job, right? But if we need more time to make those signals, we do our homework, we do our job a little bit later. So I just wanted to say that real quick. But you have your 68% zone for the week here for the Qs, 618.64, 585.20 to the downside there. For your daily expected move for Tuesday, 607.21, we have 596.63 to the downside. So the 30-minute chart here, if I want a chance at the 30-minute chart being able to take back this 5-day and start to go into a positive trend, right? See something like this, well, then I need to see some critical things here, right? I need to actually see those buyers come in. If those buyers never come in and the first move of the week is down like this, then I should expect that to continue for a period of time. And it doesn't have to create those divergences. It's just a divergence is where we would potentially react. Okay. So that could be the same for the SPY. We don't have to start off with a divergence and just go to the upside. We can take our time in this area. We really want to do our homework to see if the 2-hour chart is curling up here. The Qs are in a much riskier spot than the SPY, but they tend to follow each other, right? If the Qs get really risky and start to dump off, then the SPY is going to dump off. That is the most likely situation there. I know there's other indices involved with the S&P 500, but still the Qs have such a heavy weight right now that it's important. Now, why is this risky? Because the 2 hour is actually negative for the MACD for the Q. So this is very, very risky. But if you're able to carve out that higher low, if you're able to make a divergence for the Qs, you would be paying attention to what? The fact that you're getting closer to going into a positive trend. You're getting closer to crossing through the center line there, and that would be a very big deal. So we're really watching this very carefully. We're doing our homework on the 30-minute chart. And if the 2 hour is able to carve out a higher low or divergence, most of the time with this market, when you see a 2 hour divergence on the downside, right, you see that 2 hour divergence, that positive divergence down in negative territory, or a positive move, meaning a higher low in negative territory. Many, many times, most of the time, a very, very high percentage of the time, you will see the daily chart curl up. If the daily chart curls up, is that dramatically far away from the center line? No, right? When you get dramatically far from the center line, you get rolls and things like that, like over here. And sometimes when you get dramatically away, you're able to figure it out and still see a positive move come in. But as of right now, we are not far away from that center line, not far enough to say it is extreme risk. And if we build that 2 hour divergence here, a lot of people will be talking bearish, calls will become very cheap, and then we could see that potential upside if we are able to turn up that 2 hour chart. That would kind of be the domino effect. The 30-minute making those divergences could confirm the 2 hour divergences or the higher lows, and then we could see the daily turn up. So doing your homework in this area, not being too bearish while everyone else is going to be a very good thing. Now, you may say, oh, well, that's just a perma bull kind of thing or something like that. That's not the truth here. This is a risky, risky time. This is not a time to fool around and just say, I'm just going to buy calls because the market goes up. I am focusing on saying, do your homework. Make sure we see those reversal signals. Make sure the market, this is the overall statement here from the entire video so far, is make the market prove itself before making a decision. Make the market, make momentum prove that it wants to go back to positive before making a decision. That's the whole point of using technical analysis. What's the point of using technical analysis if you're just going to make a decision before the price action, before the bars, before the MACD actually crosses, right? Before these things happen. If this daily is going to cross down, well, I don't know if it's going to cross down because right now it's crossed up in positive territory. That's very, very risky. The 2 hour chart is what I'd be watching here. But remember, we were looking for this 2 hour pump to about 20. This has exceeded my expectations as of right now. People really reacted to that drop. Now that could be overzealous for some kind of crash or something, but overall it tells us what? Well, can we make a lower high for volatility? And the truth be told here, because this is so extended across, you have to be aware if that 2 hour just whips right back up. If that 2 hour whips back up, you can still make that 2 hour divergence going into Thursday, Friday. So if we make a 2 hour divergence, if we make a 2 hour lower high, that'll be a big deal. So are we at the point where we can see another volatility push? Well, you are getting a confirmation of the 30-minute towards the end of the day. Not a good confirmation as of right now. We are seeing it with a negative bar. So we'll have to see what happens coming out on Tuesday. But for now, you would likely see another push in volatility that then tells you, hey, there is divergence here. There is a lower high. So you're still looking for the lower high. You're still looking for a divergence from the 30-minute chart for volatility. And overall, though, volatility was calling that up day with a 85% chance. We did get some kind of up day. Notice it doesn't have to be some kind of big reversal. We're only up by 0.07. So the important thing, I think, for volatility is actually the 2 hour chart. I think making sure that the 2 hour at some point this week is able to curl down, maybe by expiration, but being open to this dragging out into Friday or something like that, because volatility is in such a positive trend for the 2 hour chart. So being very aware, being risk averse here, being someone who trades like water and sees the market in both directions right now is still a good thing. How do we know that seeing the market in both directions right now is still a good thing? Well, because we're still in that range, right? Even when we break said range or break said range, break the low, we still get a positive reaction in some way at this point. So we are still stuck up here in this area, and we have not seen a clean breakdown that has really made us go, oh, this is extremely bullish, or oh, this is extremely bearish. All we know at this point is we're in the range, we're at the bottom of the range. And if we make the 2-hour signals at this point, you actually would have an argument for the daily chart being able to curl up when those confirm. Have those actually been created yet? No. Have those confirmed yet? No. They are still forming at this point. So paying attention, being patient for that Tuesday into Wednesday price action to see if we make some kind of bottoming signal will be critical. And I will make sure to update you on this channel. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys got something helpful from this video. And I hope you have a great little weekend. I hope you're able to spend some time with family. If you're not able to spend time with family, hey, go treat yourself. Go to the gym, get a nice workout in. Don't look at stocks and look at financial Twitter or whatever you're going to do all weekend long. Just enjoy yourself. That's the whole point. We need to start enjoying our time with family, our time even with ourselves, treating ourselves to a nice meal and things like that, and thanking God for it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.